So right now, Death of a Salesman is in previews on Broadway. Arthur Miller's Pulitzer Prize-winning story shows how the American dream crumbles for one family. The play has been revived several times, but this latest run originated from London and marks the first time we're seeing the story from the perspective of a black family. Our next guest plays Ben Loman, alongside the dynamic duo that is Wendell Pierce and Sharon D. Clarke. He's a Broadway icon with a Grammy, a Tony, and an Emmy. We are supposed to bow in the presence of greatness, people, and Mr. André De Shields is all kinds of greatness, and he is here. So bow down and welcome him to New York Living! I told you, I was Googling earlier, how do you know, sit, talk, look at a legend? Am I looking you in the eye? Do I look past? What am I?
Please look me in the eye.
Okay.
That's what the story is.
Seriously, every time, like your Tony acceptance speech.
Yeah.
Like I listen to it like randomly, just because. I'm not even joking. Listen to it randomly. But let's talk about Death of a Salesman first.
Death of a Salesman. Yeah.
Listen, because you started previews.
Oh yes.
Right.
We're in our second week of previews, so soon it's going to be. Boom, opening night.
So here's the deal. It's interesting, and I think it's appropriate that Salesman is in the title, because I was like, whatever you're selling, we're buying, sir.
Yep,
and because you are just the epitome of all things great, like I said, no joke. So I've never been an icon on Broadway or off, but when you are an icon like you are, how does a role like this come about? Do they call you up? I'm sure you don't even have to audition these days. They're just like...
No, I don't have to audition.
I knew it.
But I do. In my daily life,
Oh.
I'm auditioning for the next representation of elegance, majesty, knowledge, that kind of thing. But this is how this one came about. I had just done my last performance in Hadestown. I packed up my dressing room to make space for Lilius White, right, who's now in Hermes. I'm at home unpacking the boxes. My phone rings, right? Mr. De Shields, this is Wendell Pierce. I'm calling you from Budapest.
Of course.
Where I'm doing the film. Would you consider playing my older brother Ben in Death of a Salesman? I responded, let me think about it, yes.
That is right.
Yeah, because you know, my fourth Cardinal Rule, you know, the Tony acceptance speech.
Yeah.
I shared 3 Cardinal Rules, but there is a 4th Cardinal Rule, and that is pursue only those blessings that have your name written on them. So when Wendell Pierce called me from Budapest, I said, thank you. Didn't even question it. I saw my name all over it.
And you pursued it because it's yours.
Yeah, because
you don't have to
mine.
worry if it's not yours. You're like, not for me.
No, it belongs to me. It was on its way to me. I simply had to let go of one gift so that I could receive the next.
Okay, so how this interpretation, because it's from the perspective of a black family, how is this interpretation
It is
of the story?
indeed from the perspective of a black family. Now, it's 2022. We're late in the pandemic. People are still stressing out and being frustrated for many reasons, not the least of which is the browning of America. That makes a lot of people uncomfortable. As an artist and activist, it is our responsibility to supply the evidence that we are, culturally speaking, exactly where we are supposed to be. And you do that by going to the canon of great dramatic literature, right? And allowing it to be interpreted by those demographics of the culture who have been traditionally marginalized to its edges. That's the perspective we bring to Death of a Salesman, because prior to this production, Arthur Miller's masterpiece has been exclusively claimed by white actors and white audiences. So what we are dealing with today, first of all, is explaining to the dominant culture why they have to now see it through a glass darkly.
If I'm smiling every time you speak, It's just because, like, you're just a word. Like, the way everything you say, the way you speak. I know I stalked you and yelled at you when you won your Tony for Haiti sound. Everyone, we are an Oscar away from an EGOT, FYI. Let me just say this. But when you get that Oscar, I will be there yelling for you and yelling out. By the way, before we even go, because I know they're going to tell us to go soon, right?
Right.
You were Netflix Uncoupled, which I told you that I binged like in one night.
Yeah.
With Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes,
like,
indeed.
Loved it. Love you, as you know. But let me ask something quickly about your style. What is your closet like? Because I feel like you wear three-piece pajamas with a matching cap. Like, what is your situation like? Like, you're...
That is true.
Oop, I knew it.
But look, now, part of my mission, right, is to fill intimate spaces with enormous beauty. Now, for instance, the theater is an intimate space.
And you're a thing of beauty.
Well, yeah, but the space that I'm trying to fill with enormous beauty is your heart.
Oh, my heart is full.
How more intimate can one be? Because if one can receive beauty, one can receive change. And right now, we are in what? A paradigmatic change.
I can't even. Right now, I can't even, because you are too much for me to handle. Like, I can't even deal. I am so full. Everyone, you can see the recent revival of Death of a Salesman right now at the Hudson Theater. For tickets, head on over to salesmanonbroadway.com.